Hello, everyone. This is Sean Copeland. Today is Saturday, May the 21st, and welcome to a brand new edition of the Kingdom Driven CEO. Today on the Kingdom Driven CEO, we are going to talk about a concept called the drama triangle. Now, I learned this concept years ago at a leadership academy down in Dallas, Texas called Stagen Leadership Academy. It was so good. And this particular teaching or concept that I'm going to share with you today was a game changer for me. Now, what I want to explain is that there are two ways that we can live our life, okay? We can live our life in the drama triangle, which I'm going to talk about today, or we can live our life in the empowerment dynamic. So the difference between the two is that in the empowerment dynamic, we control our emotions, our actions, and our future, okay? We are in control. In the drama triangle, we allow others to control the way we feel, the way we react, and just our general way of living. In the drama triangle, there are three parties, okay? And let me explain this. I want you to think about an interaction that was dramatic, or one that was kind of high stress, or there was some frustration involved. And in this moment, there are going to be three parties, okay? There is going to be a persecutor, there is going to be a victim, and there is going to be a rescuer. Now, let me kind of take these one at a time, and I think you'll understand kind of what I'm trying to share here today. The victim is the individual who is unwilling to take responsibility. They feel powerless, they feel overwhelmed, they feel hopeless. The victim's language can be things like, this really stinks. Why is this happening to me? There's just nothing I can do about it. They are, as you can imagine, the victim. Now, the persecutor is someone or something that blames, criticizes, and dominates. They often feel self-righteous, threatened, defensive, or angry. And the language of the persecutor is, this is your fault. Why did you do that? What's the matter with you? And a persecutor, it's important to note, can be a person. It can be someone who is attacking you, or it can be a circumstance. It can be the world. It can be a death in the family, a layoff. It can be the unfairness of the world. A lot of things can be a persecutor. The rescuer is the person that shields others from the consequences of their actions. So a rescuer feels needed, validated, powerful, or superior because they basically come in and save the day or validate the victim. So they will say things like, I feel sorry for you. Let me help you. Let me help you fix the situation. I'll just take care of it myself. And what I want you to think about is, of these three roles, think about which one you gravitate toward. Are you typically the persecutor who is blaming others? Are you the victim who feels like they are being attacked? Or are you the rescuer that comes in like Superman or Superwoman to save the day? Now, my guess is that you favor one of these roles at work. If you're listening to this and you are a leader within your organization, you will often favor the rescuer role at work. You like to come in and be the fixer and make everything work. But maybe you are the victim at home. Maybe you have a spouse who is a little more dominant, kind of runs the show at home, and you can often feel like a victim, and maybe you feel like your spouse could be the persecutor. What we're trying to do is we're trying to move from the drama triangle to the empowerment dynamic, and I want to kind of explain to you how we are going to do this. There is a bridge from drama to empowerment, and it is basically focus, inner state, and behavior. Okay? So, for example, when you are a victim, there is a problem, you feel anxiety, and you react. Okay? But what we want to do is we want to go from being the victim, to being the creator. Where what you do is basically you think about what is the desired outcome that you want to see, you have passion around this, and you take the next step to create that desired outcome. And we'll talk about this more here in just a moment. What we're trying to do is we're trying to shift from the victim, rescuer, and persecutor to the victim becomes the creator, the persecutor becomes a challenger, and the rescuer becomes a coach. And that's the biggie. So let's talk a little bit about going from a victim to being a creator, first of all. A creator accepts responsibility and makes choices. They feel capable, they feel confident, they feel resourceful, they feel resilient. The language of a creator is the outcome I'm going to create is ... The learning I'm getting from this is ... I choose to blank. That's very, very different than the victim where everything is happening to them. The persecutor is going to move from what we talked about earlier as the persecutor to being a challenger. Now, the language of a challenger, or the feelings of a challenger evokes or provokes the will to create in others. A challenger feels clear, confident, centered, and committed. And the language of a challenger is the language of change. I believe you can do better than this. What I need you to do is this. You have to take a different approach. A challenger doesn't say it's your fault. A challenger says you are capable of so much more. Now, the biggie that I want to close with today is moving from a rescuer to a coach, okay? Many of us love to be the rescuer, but the worst thing we can do for our organizations and our families is to be a rescuer. When you are the rescuer, what happens is you are devaluing the other person. You are not empowering them. You are not teaching them. You are making them become more and more dependent upon you. That's the worst thing you can do as a leader. What you want to do is to be a coach. You want to support others in tapping their own capabilities. You feel optimistic, non-attached. You feel a sense of contribution, but you don't need to be the answer to the problem. The language of a coach is, what is it that you really want? What do you see as your options? What can you choose to do to improve this situation? So what happens in every, excuse my allergies, folks. What happens in every interaction like this is we can choose to change. We can go from victim to creator, persecutor to challenger, rescuer to coach. And what that will do is that will create so much more empowerment and strength within our organizations. Now, what we're trying to do is we're trying to move from reactive leadership to conscious leadership. Okay? In reactive leadership, we have drama. We have a victim orientation. We have a persecutor, a rescuer. We focus on the problem. We avoid responsibility, and it is just a vicious cycle. In conscious leadership, we are an empowerer. We have a creator orientation. We are a challenger. We are a coach. We focus on the outcome. We take responsibility, and it is a virtuous cycle, not a vicious cycle. So when I learned this new skill, what happens now is when people bring me a problem, a lot of times, if it is with another person, I bring the other person in, and the three of us talk about how to solve the situation. If it is a problem that the person just can't figure out, I try to coach them through how to think about the problem, how to solve the problem on their own. And what happens is they become stronger and stronger as leaders, and I get to where I spend less and less time in solving other people's problems or solving either relationship issues. They learn to solve them on their own. They can do that. And all of a sudden, I have more time to be strategic and strategic and grow the organization. That is the goal here, is to grow our leaders so that we don't have to be doing day-to-day leadership, and we can focus on the big picture and working on the organization rather than working in the organization. So I hope you have enjoyed this episode of the Drama Triangle, and I look forward to being back with you next week. Thank you so much.